Happy Thursday. Happy Timbit Live. We are live. We are alive. I am Perry. We have made it. You have made it. Things are going great. Or something like that. I don't know, man. Whew, it's been a week. It's been a week, I tell you. We are present and accounted for. You are here. Thank you so much for that. Please, if you are watching on the replay and you haven't done so, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done that either. Sugar Kitty was here first saying meow, and they are multitasking. Kyle Whipper, yeah boy. Patrick, the Bourbon Noob. Hope you are doing well, my friend. Miss MC. Tony Bag of Donuts. I started the stream on time. The stream started exactly at 7, which, I mean, my face wasn't on screen. But at the very least, so it started at 7 o'clock, which I've been starting late recently, which I apologize for. But either way, we are here, we are live, we are alive. And I hope you're having a fantastic one. What a week, huh? What a week. Episode came out yesterday. We reviewed the new Wild Turkey 8-Year 101. The new domestic version. Finally returned to the States. If you haven't checked it out yet, please do so. Episode's popping off, though. It's doing really well. So thank you all for watching it, for listening to it. We do appreciate it. It's gotten quite a bit of attention, which we appreciate. Joe the Sample Guy, I hope you're well. Love the pod, fun one. It was fun. Lots of great conversation. Aside from good pours being had. But overall, just I think we're in a really good rhythm right now. I think Eric and I have just found a very good rhythm with the podcast, and I hope that you all are enjoying it as much as enjoying listening to it or watching it as much as we are enjoying doing it, because it's just been exceptional on our end as far as the experience of creating it goes. So yeah, we're getting into another little groove, which I enjoy. But anyway, that's enough of that. Otherwise, been back at the gym, of course, working them muscles, trying to get more in shape, feeling good about it too. Did my heavies today, and I'm a little sore. I didn't feel much like going, but I really needed to. I really needed to get on it. But other than that, kiddos are doing well. My nephew turned 1 this week, which is incredible. Had some fun little birthday celebrations for him. And, yeah. I think that's about it. Can't think think of much else. I am ready for a pour, though. I was leaving for the gym today. Tonight's gonna be an all Jim Beam stream. I was leaving for the gym, and I heard the lawnmower across the street, and we have a pretty quiet neighborhood. I poured some Beam Black, by the way. Everybody kind of keeps to themselves. And my neighbor across the street, Cheech Artolino, holy moly, hope you're doing well, brother. Good to see you. Tony Johnny as well. Jim Beam. My neighbor across the street stopped his mower to wave me down. I had never spoken to this man before in the year and a half that we've lived in this house. He flags me over, starts talking to me about all of his gut issues that he's had. He's in his 70s. He clearly needed to talk to somebody about it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this man 30 minutes of my time. Starts talking about his politics, starts talking about the good old days of when he worked in a garage, start talking about, this, that, and the other. And I was like, boy, this is 30 minutes that this man clearly really needed. And I was happy to give him the time, but I kept trying to find a way to just kind of like get out, because I needed to get to the gym. I needed to get to working out. I have a limited amount of time to do such things these days. But he started talking about having listen, I haven't been regular in a long time. It's funny you say that, because he was starting to talk a little bit about gallstones and them getting into his bile duct and everything. And I was like, this is great. I'm so excited to hear about this. But he did start talking about having acid reflux. And I was like, oh, so were you a whiskey drinker at any point in your life? And he was like, you know what's funny? I would take a shot of whiskey, shot of bourbon any day over a beer. And I was like, I think I just made a new friend, even though we had some disagreements on things. And he said, well, once I'm all better from my gut issues, because the man had surgery a week ago today. Once I'm all better from my gut issues, we're going to have a pour together. And I said, that sounds fantastic. It was nice to make a new friend. But anyway, make sure you all tune into Matt Madness tomorrow night to support Cheechers versus Dara versus Bruzel. Yes, absolutely. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Round 4. Bruzel on Average Drinker v. Bruzel v. Whiskey Encore. Head to head. I hope you guys have a great time. I will try to tune in for a little bit. I'm not sure how much I will be there, but I'm sick to see a blind that Bruzel didn't set up himself. No, I'm sure it's going to be great. Anyway, my camera's a little askew. What happened there? It's going to be great. Hey, also, if you want to support the show as it is happening live, you can head to the Stream Elements link in the description below. And you can do what we call Snuffy Chats here on Timbip Live. It is named after Mrs. Snuffleupagus, the patron saint of Timbip Live. I believe, you believe, we all believe. He is a real person, animal, creature, as far as I'm concerned. Let's have a drink, shall we? Cheers. Not just to this insane week, but to neighbors who have weird gut health issues and want to tell you all about it. and tell you about car stuff when you don't know about cars. I know nothing about cars, and this man told me everything about his muscle car that he has. Send your own snuffy chat, see? Hang on. I gotta pin it. Thank you, Cheech. Cheers to gut health, indeed. I believe that love is the answer. I believe that the children are the future. I believe that it is also time for us to start talking about the news. Folks, it is Derby week in Kentucky. Kentucky Derby 151 is this Saturday. Run at Kentucky's own Churchill Downs. Wow, look at this. A Kentucky news outlet actually misspelled Kentucky. Kentucky. Thank you, Austin Schick, reporter at Spectrum News 1. Kentucky Derby 151 is just around the corner, which means the Commonwealth is on an international stage, and the bourbon industry is gearing up for an influx of Derby visitors. Along with horse racing, one of Kentucky's other signature industries sees benefits: bourbon. Bluegrass Distillers is hosting a party for Thurby, which is today, May 1st, and Oaks Day tomorrow, which is a big race as well at Churchill Downs in Louisville. And they're expecting a busy week leading up to Derby 151 on Saturday, which is, as everybody knows, at least in Kentucky. A lot of people don't really care much about Derby, but leading up to Derby, I like to do a little bit of celebration around it because it is special to Kentuckians and really not too much of anybody else. Kyle wanted to talk about the Julep Cups, which we had brought up prior, but we will look at these here in just a moment. Because they are, whoo, buddy. They're expansive. Anyway, fun little pony race where they get around the track in a very short amount of time, but you bet a little bit of money and you can get a lot of money back, and you can drink some whiskey and have a good time with your friends. Kentuckians, yes. Oh, dude, don't worry about it. We'll talk about the expensive Julep Cups because they are fun to talk about and look at, and I enjoy thinking about how much fun it would be to spend that kind of money when you don't have it. We're getting so many visitors to our state, and it's the Southern hospitality and us as Kentuckians said. Oh, what I was going to say also. Derby is always the first Saturday in May. If you ever need to know that, usually us as Kentuckians, we are busy on that day for those of us who like to celebrate. But also, it's understandable if you don't. Oh, wow. Oh, you can see my right click now. I changed up the way that my screen is shared on stream. It doesn't matter. You can see my right click now. You weren't able to before. Friend of the show, Maggie from Bluegrass Distillers, their marketing director, said, we are getting so many visitors to our state, and that's Southern hospitality and us as Kentuckians. We want to know these people that if it's their first time or fifth time coming to Kentucky, that we have a lot to offer. Bluegrass Distillers will have events at its Midway location and original location in Lexington for Derby Week. And it's an exciting time as they expect an influx of national and international visitors. Kentucky will be the new name once I finally live there. Tony? I love that. The vibe in the whole state is different leading up to Derby. It's true. We all realize that maybe we'll have a mint julep and we're actually going to like it this time. That answer will always be no. The answer will always be no. Also, hold on. I'm going to share the Stream Elements tipping link in Twitch chat real quick because... Oh, dadgummit. There we go. Also set up a follower goal on Twitch so we can get closer to that affiliate status. Looking for 80 followers on Twitch. So if you are not yet subscribed or following on the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/mybourbongamer, please go and do so. You can watch over there. We do some gaming streams every now and then. It's a great way to support the show in different capacities. When I'm not streaming on YouTube, I like to stream on Twitch. And as Switch 2 comes out, I'll be streaming more over there as well. And in a little bit, we'll talk about some other ways that you can support the show, primarily tomorrow as well. We get hit with Keeneland traffic in Midway, blah, blah, blah. We've been gearing up for the crowds for the past few weeks. And in Laredo, where is Madrasmus? I've got no idea. If we say his name 3 times, he might appear, though. In Laredo, Maker's Mark is no stranger to pairing horse racing and bourbon. Thomas Bolton, Senior Manager of Experience and Education, said Keeneland was the first place to serve Maker's Mark. I think both bring people together. Bourbon brings conversation, and I've never seen more strangers hug than at a horse race when a horse wins that they all bet on. The historic distillery will have live music and special ticketed events leading up to the race, but anyone can drop by for a good time. About 20% of our visitors are from the state of Kentucky. The rest are from out of state all year round. But you'll see that number jump up around May. Young said amid potential tariffs and other uncertainties, the bourbon industry will keep on distilling. We continue to be scrappy and do what we need to do to survive and see this through because there are brighter days ahead for bourbon. Woodford Reserve is the presenting sponsor of the Kentucky Derby. And that brings us to the Julep Cups, which in and of themselves, I think look quite good this year. I think they look quite good. They truly are not that bad. Could be much worse. Kyle Whippert with the Twitch follow. Thank you, buddy. Just so happened to switch over and look. Bringing us one step closer to our 80 follower goal. And better than the last few for sure. I agree. Some of the last ones have been absolute garbage. Now, I am not personally a big fan of the mint julep. It's usually just too sugary, too sweet for me. I'd rather have like a mint old fashioned or something of that capacity. Last year I did a stream where I made some drinks for that you could make at home for the Derby. If you want to go back and watch that, I recommend it because I think it's just about as evergreen. But yeah. Goodness gracious. Here they are, though. Can we just... They're one of them is sold out. The silver-plated one. It's the $1,000 mint julep cup. And you could have selected the number? That's crazy. Yeah, this doesn't look too terribly bad, I'll be honest with you. But they also still have plenty of $5,000 julep cups. And they've got them. They've certainly got them. I mean, really, it's not that bad. They've got the Derby trophy on it. But hey, we could all go in on one together, and every Derby, or, you know, once every other month, we could ship it. I don't know. What number do you guys want? 56 is gone. Well, if 56 is gone, I think I'm out. So juleps are definitely not for me, but hey, it is what it is. I am in agreement. This is funny. $5,000 plus tax. 69? Is 69 still there? No friggin' way. Oh my goodness. You're telling me that somebody with $5,000 to wag around didn't have the wherewithal to be like, yes, I'm going to get in on the joke and do the number 69 cup? Are you joking? You're kidding me. Nobody at any point. There's basically like half of these left, and nobody did number 69. I think it should have been the first one sold. Add to cart is very funny, Kyle. Just think. If we all pool our money, chat. If we all pool our money together for a $5,000 cup and one mint julep. The cup is adorned with sterling silver accents, including the iconic Derby trophy, and embellished with lab-grown white and pink sapphires. It's 24-karat heavy gold plating over sterling silver. You're telling me Pinky's out for 69. You're telling me that most of this is 24-karat gold plating. Imagine that you have like that one ditzy friend who doesn't think about it, and they just, I'm not falling for that trick again. You always drink the whole thing because your half was at the bottom. Imagine you have that one ditzy friend, though, who's like, I'm just going to run it through the dishwasher. It's just a cup. Oh, it's a cute looking cup, but I'm just going to run it through the dishwasher. Not even like a thought that it could have been real gold or gold plating. It would happen. I just know, with my luck, somebody would be like, oh, I'm just trying to help out. I'm just trying to help out, dude. What do you mean? Don't get pissed at me for trying to help you out, bro. You're like, dadgum, man. All right. Well, don't gaslight me. Anyway. Oh, let's move on. I feel like we saw this before, but it seems like this just officially got announced. Like maybe we saw some in 7 years now. I've still never put a Glen in the dishwasher. I mean, in a pinch, I will. I feel like we've seen these before. Maybe these were just initially like the TTB labels or something, but I did see this 18-year decanter today, and it was expensive. But I did think about it for a second. So I was like, oh, that'd be fun on stream. I'm a Glen in the dishwasher guy. I am who I am. I'm not judging. But anyway, Calumet Farm is celebrating their 100 years anniversary with new Centennial collection. They've got this barn decanter, which looks super cool. They've got a beautiful tall decanter with 18-year-old bourbon in it at 118 proof. Just put 3 Calumet 16s and feel better about the purchase. Or buy 3. Yeah, I agree. Got a 98.5 rating. It's got a 17-year-old glass decanter Centennial bourbon at 117 proof. This guy here, let's open this up. That didn't really help too much, did it? Anyway, I've seen the bottled and bond around a little bit. The bourbon, I guess I'm not sure if the rye is bottled and bond. No, it's a foundational release. And their first rye. But I don't know if I've seen the rye around yet, but it's 91% rye and 9% barley. Um, da, da, da. But yeah, the ceramic decanter I think also looks super cool. It's got 86 proof Calumet in there. Anyone see Jason's review of the 17 this week? I have not seen it yet. I'll have to watch it. But overall, I think it's a pretty sweet looking collection. I think Calumet has always been great with their branding. Even if, some of their products have not always been hitters, I think that they just really knock it out of the park with their presentation. Yeah, I'd be curious about some of the product that is actually in the bottle here. So maybe in the future we shall see. Speaking of the future, though, Star Trek has teamed up with Stellum Spirits. I love the decanter. It's just expensive. I think overall they were giving value for age outside of this release. Yeah, probably. They've got 2 releases. It's very interesting. But let's see. They've got a blended rye that includes liquid aging and ranging in age, from 5 years and 5 months to 7 years old. The provenance of the whiskey is undisclosed, but the blend has a derived mash bill of 82% rye, 14% corn, and 4% malted barley. And it was bottled at cask strength at what's that? 118 proof. And the second expression is a blended whiskey with a mash bill of 79% corn, 18% rye, and 3% malted barley. It taps notably older liquid than its counterpart, including components that are 5 to 11 years old. The proof is also slightly higher at around 120 proof. Like 120.67? 67? Yeah. Naturally, with its corn-dominant mash bill, this one will likely be sweeter. Blah, blah, blah. I'm curious. I'm curious about these. I'm not the biggest Trekkie. Each at a retail price of $80, though. 600 bottles a piece. But it is cool that they look like they could be in universe with for Star Trek. So, yeah. Loved that. We've also got these new Whiskey Row bottles that are not... It's not Whiskey Row, the series from... that's actually a great price point for a custom bottle presentation and sourcing. Good for them. Yeah, I mean, it could have been easily $150 a bottle, I feel like. But this is not Whiskey Row from Old Forester. This is a completely different brand. Developed at the Kentucky Artisan Distillery. $250 price increase for 1 year over 16 for a stupid square bottle in a box. Nope. But it's got three releases: Triple Wood, Bottled and Bond, and Cask Strength. This is pretty in line with a lot of the products that come from the Artisan. Oh, wait, what am I thinking of? I'm sorry. I'm thinking of balls. What is it? Because these are the Jeffersons guys. Dog's about to bark. Told you. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so the Triple Wood is aged for at least 4 years and then undergoes a dual finishing process in Cognac and Pedro Jimenez sherry casks. Jeffrey Whack, the Whack Attack. Hello again, whiskey friends. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing fantastic. I don't know what she's barking at. So Wacky wasn't even on his own stream. That's hilarious. Anyway, this approach, inspired by pre-prohibition experimentation, aims to deliver layered flavor profiles reflecting the ingenuity of early American whiskey makers. They've got a bottled and bond. Not sure how old, but of course, 100 proof. And then they've got their cast strength release. And it doesn't look like they're showing how high the proof is, but it's also very hard to read from the 3 pixels that are in this picture. Even on vacation, I can say hi to Perry. I appreciate you, Jeff. Happy vacation. Hope you're enjoying it too. Oh, there's Jade. I just completely overlooked Jade's picture and was just talking about Artisan. Whiskey Row Bourbon is rooted in Louisville, Kentucky, but its origins reflect a broader range of flavors across America, shaped by the agriculture, entrepreneurship, and exchange of ideas that established bourbon as a quintessential American spirit. And it's in Colorado, Georgia, Illinois, Kentucky, Michigan, New Hampshire, New York, and Tennessee. And it's going to be in Europe and other markets later in the year of 2025. And this is the other release I wanted to talk about real quick. We discussed it somewhat recently, but the Kentucky Wild Cask Bourbon, which was crafted, created, aged, distilled, everything at the Beam Institute in Lexington, Kentucky. The Kentucky Wild Cask Bourbon, which has kind of come and gone. Was some of it at Bardstown Bourbon Company too? I didn't realize that. So 8 years from the Beam Institute, 78 corn, 13 rye, and 9% malted barley. 5 years from Bardstown Bourbon Company at 68 corn, 20 wheat, and 2 malted barley. That was the first 2 percentages are 35%, and then the last 30% is a 4.5-year wheater from Bardstown Bourbon Company at 53% corn, 39% wheat, and 8% malted barley. Am I wrong? Yeah, some of it did come from Bardstown Bourbon Company. I've heard really good things about it. I'm very, very curious about what this looks like. Yeah. Friend of the show, Logan Beckonen, who is one of the founders of the Bond Bourbon as well, helped create this. Super cool to see the Beam Institute releasing this. Love it. I love it too. It's just a super unique product to come out. But the thing that I wanted to get to the most is this piece from VinePair that came out a couple of days ago. And when I came across it, it really left me scratching my head. Because I think that it's a reflection of how insular a lot of our conversations can be in bourbon podcasting, in bourbon tube, in whiskey tube. And when it comes to some of the more nuanced discussions or some of the wider alcohol-related folks who write for a living, some of them don't really consider some of the things that we are more privy to on a regular basis. And the title of the article is, as you can see on screen, no one wants to talk about the oversupply of scotch and bourbon. And I feel like we've been talking about this. Have we not? Is this not something that we've been talking about ad nauseum recently? Especially with the reintroduction of a lot of age-stated products. We'll get into it in a second, but this is not something that I feel like it's all we've talked about since the dip. Exactly. It feels like it's just a very out of the loop point of view. So we'll dive into it here. But the story of whiskey for the last 20 years has been nothing but positive. After decades of decline in sales, it underwent a renaissance. Simultaneously, new styles emerged from American craft distilleries. Blah blah blah. Whiskey's popularity and visibility have climbed steadily, so that in 2025 it's completely normal to see an official bourbon of the New York Mets or a bottle of Dewar's pop up on the White Lotus. Okay, first of all, whiskey has always been in popular culture. This is what? Okay, what is this official? Hudson whiskey? Hang on. Hello? Why are you not? Whatever. What are you talking about? Dewar's on White Lotus literally means nothing. Exactly. Hudson whiskey, official bourbon of the Mets. 95% corn, 5% malted barley, aged a minimum of 3 years. That's what you want. You want the bare minimum. But my whole point is like, you can't argue that like now in the 21st century, all of a sudden with the popularity of whiskey, doesn't bring up the Blantons, John Wick, instead brings up standard issue Dewar's in a TV show. Exactly. I can think of at least 5 bourbons in Justified, a show that takes place in Kentucky that came out in the early aughts or the mid aughts, whenever it was. All better points than Dewar's on White Lotus. And let's not overlook the slew of celebrities who have linked their name and fame to whiskey brands. Give me a break. But even the most vibrant trends eventually hit a plateau, and that includes whiskey. The thing that makes it different from other consumer goods like sneakers or watches, though, is that whiskey can't respond to market trends instantaneously. The time it takes to mature means that supply and demand are almost always mismatched. If a rise in demand lasts long enough and follows a steady pattern, distillers can align supply for a time, but if demand shoots up quickly, supply will lag behind, and if sales start to flatten or worse decline, an excess starts to form. I see where this is going. 2010? Okay. My bad. Across the industry, a pool of surplus whiskey is growing. This has happened before, and examples from history may hint at some of the consequences. But what happens next is an open question. It depends on how distilleries respond, what consumer trends develop, whether the economy stays healthy, and many other factors. Yes. It's like Bud Light being on TV means the craft beer boom is alive and well. On its face, this argument is just implying that the dip that we are experiencing and the overproduction, the oversupply of whiskey is so bad for producers, for distilleries, that they're going to wind up. It almost sounds like that there's an expiration date for product, for barrels of whiskey. Scotland has seen a number of gluts over the centuries, most recently in the 80s when the so-called whiskey lock led to the closure of dozens of distilleries. It took the industry years to correct, and it wasn't until the early 2000s when Scotch whiskey production, in particular single malt, started sustaining positive growth amid booming demand, fueled in part by the well-aged stocks that had lain dormant since the crash. Excited by the upturn in the first decade and a half of the 21st century, single malt distilleries instead invested heavily in laying down casks. Many distilleries expanded, and the biggest players like Macallan, Glenlivet, and Glenfiddich sank millions of pounds into new construction, doubling or even tripling their production values. For a while, this looked like a smart move. Scotch whiskey sales were going gangbusters, straining supplies of aged stock and leading many brands to manage the mismatch by dropping age statements, raising prices, or both, and that helped obscure some of the nuances of rising demand over time, namely that as single malt whiskey prices went up, so did the value of overall sales, even as sales volumes rose more slowly and then began to flatten and eventually decline. What does that sound like? As single malt whiskey prices went up, so did the value of overall sales, even as sales volumes rose more slowly and then began to flatten and eventually decline. What does that sound like? That sounds like what's happening with the overall alcohol industry right now. But again, as we keep coming back to, things are correcting right now. It is not in a decline. It's not even flattening, really. It's going back to predictions that were made. Was the industry paying attention? Many distilleries continue to sink resources into making more single malt whiskey than ever before in history, counting on future sales. David Stirk, a Scotch consultant and author of several books, says that the biggest sign of the increasing supply is warehousing. They charge more, people paid for a period, but now people are holding on to their money. See, but also, like, this touches on a couple of things too, Kyle. The first thing is that is not necessarily a negative when it comes to the way that people operate as consumers in the alcohol industry. If they have more money to spend on expensive bottles, the likelihood is they're going to spend more of their hard-earned money on expensive bottles because they're going to see it as a splurge, right? Oh, I have $150 in my pocket that I've been saving up for something special. I'm going to spend it on that bottle of Knob Creek 18 that has been staring at me, and I'm going to enjoy it because I've never had the opportunity until now, and I may as well enjoy it while I can. The other part of that, too, is that this is going to give distilleries the opportunity to put out product that on its face is more appealing to this crowd, right? If they have money that is being held onto, then there is a likelihood, of course, that they will act on it in this nature. Does that make sense? I think I walked around that point a little bit, but anyway. The number of warehouses has gone up in the last 10, 15 years exponentially. The malt side doesn't need much more product. It just needs to continue as it was. Macallan, who built a new distillery, hasn't seen a huge growth in sales of bottled whiskey. They've just seen a huge growth in their profit. When you put those things together, it doesn't add up. That's interesting. Jake Miller, what's going on? Good to see you, dude. Hope you're doing well. Scotch Whisky Association shares export figures annually. For several years, Michael Kravitz, I'm assuming that's Lenny's brother. I will not be looking into it any further. That's just my assumption. Of the Diving for Pearls blog, published an excellent analysis of this data, predicting in 2017, if volume sales don't increase significantly, then we're going to start seeing a ton of well-aged malt whiskey within 5 years. If this continues further, there is going to be an embarrassment of oversupply in 10 years. Even if industry-wide production is cut in half in 2017, it would be too late to stop the lock. I struggle to find the fault in well-aged product sitting on a shelf at good prices. Am I crazy? Am I missing something here? Because to me, this is what we've been clamoring for. We wanted to see age statements return. And calling it like an embarrassment is interesting. How much quality whiskey will go to waste with all these craft distilleries going out of business? Can some at least sell off to the big guys? I'm assuming they could. I don't see any reason why they couldn't sell off to the big guys. They would just have to be more transparent about what they were selling or what was being sourced, where that source product was coming from. I don't know. It's the same question that we keep asking with like Garrett County Distilling. Where is that whiskey going to go? It's still product that is sitting on the shelf, right? It's a good thing, but there has to be a balance of price to quality. That's why I feel the Calumet will sit everywhere. Right. But in that instance, the market will correct. That's my feeling. That's my feeling. Because eventually they're going to realize that the product has to sell and prices will drop. Right? I could be completely wrong. I could be completely wrong. Bruzel can buy it up for his distillery. And another whiskey lock, according to Stirk, is what people in the Scotch industry are now talking about. There are even more ominous echoes of the 80s to point to. In January, Brown-Forman implemented an extended silent period for Glenglassaugh Distillery and laid off staff, though the company stopped short of calling it a closure. While at one time its published data was highly detailed, the SWA has pared back what it shares publicly, so it's no longer possible to do an analysis. All right. We're going to back off. But even with a little information available, it's possible to conclude that there's far more single malt sitting in cask than is being sold. Scotch volume sales in the U.S., by far the biggest market for single malt, have remained mostly stagnant for a decade. I forgot I wasn't going to get the and have dropped for the last 4 years. Okay, let's look at this. U.S. Scotch whiskey market 2024. 102% increase in super premium single malt volume since 2003. 2.2 billion revenue generated for distillers, 7.9 million 9-liter cases sold in 2024. Oh, okay. Wait. Okay, so it's dropped like a little bit. It's dropped 17% total in cases and 6% in revenue for single malt. And 15% between blended and single malt. Okay, I can understand why that would be worrisome. And in 2024, Scotch export values dropped overall by 3.7%, while volumes rose 3.9%, an indicator that drinkers are choosing cheaper products like blends over spendier single malt. Start compares the current phenomenon to the petroleum industry. If oil hits $500 a barrel, but consumption is the same, OPEC countries don't start suddenly churning out more oil, laying down all this stock and not having the growth in consumption doesn't make sense. The profit side of it all is well and good. But if you don't have too much stock, you got to do something with it. Okay, all right. When current LE gimmicks are worse than basic cast strength from 2019, maybe more age on product is good. See, that's my thinking too. Especially when LE products that are coming out are just... and not even from like the gimmick side of things, but just on the quality of it all. When the quality is just average at best. When the quality is average at best, then yeah, I think that a good aged product is so much more important than going, well, we're going to throw it in this rum cask that you've never heard of before. And I also think too that like this circles back to, and I'm not saying that there isn't still value in craft distilleries, but I do think that what we are going to see, and this is my own personal prediction, and this is not even to say that there has been a decrease either, but what we're going to likely see over the next few years, especially now that the glut is starting to sink in more and more and more, we are going to see people return to the big name brands as their go-to purchases, their go-to products, as opposed to some of these smaller craft distilleries. Campari and Diageo are the real problem in the whiskey world. They are the LE kings of overpriced limiteds. Making it limited on purpose to manufacture FOMO, yes, that's another big problem too. I fully agree with you, Kyle. I think that when these big corporate overlords start to buy up what ostensibly are kind of some of these smaller distilleries, these smaller operations, and they start seeing dollar signs because of the way that they have been successful, but the way that they have been successful is because of the fact that they have operated as family owned, and they have put out good product, as opposed to like churning out these new innovative products year after year after year. They start seeing dollar signs for all the wrong reasons. And then when they buy them, they're like, oh, we got to put out these new things. And then it just hurts, and it hurts their ostensibly what would be considered their bottom line, I suppose. And it hurts consumers that have been loyal to the company for a long time. Smallest company I trust is Smoke Wagon, and I think they even expanded peak COVID boom. That's a very good point. Wild Turkey themselves would have never made Russell's 15 to 253 in a bottle, but the overlords made that happen. Exactly. Wild Turkey is the prime example of what I'm talking about here. All right, the bourbon part of all of this. We'll work through this, try to get through this quickly, even though this is a little bit longer than the Scotch part. We'll skip the Irish portion. Apologies to Stacy. Bourbon's 21st century rise came several years after Scotch's big surge, and so too his flattening demand. That's an important difference to keep in mind for bourbon. A sales slowdown has only shown up in the data in the last couple of years. If it holds, it will exacerbate any oversupply problems, with the two issues here until recently distinctly separate. Diageo bought Balcones and forced them to only make single malt and abandon their other lines. We all know what Campari did to Wild Turkey, but on the other hand, where the heck is Wilderness Trail? I don't know. It's very likely that what we're seeing for Campari with Wilderness Trail is that likely Wilderness Trail is just not a big enough operation for them to sink their teeth into in the way that they have with somebody like Wild Turkey. Excuse me. And so they're kind of letting them find their footing for a longer period of time. And then they kind of take over some of their more day-to-day operations. But also, too, and I mean, Kyle brings up a good point. Shout out to the owners of Wilderness Trail selling at the perfect time. Big W for those dudes. They could have been more of an investment thing so that they could make more product that they wanted, as opposed to, you know, selling to the overlords, as it were, in order to, you know, let somebody else take care of, like, what they do at a foundational level. And then, you know, completely flip the switch on pricing, on product promotion, and things of that nature. So my interpretation of it, at the very least, is that it was more of an investment sale, than it was anything. So anyway. The signs of oversupply are easy to see, though. MGP, one of the largest suppliers of contract whiskey in the United States, has seen such a drop in client demand that last November it announced it would reduce production to focus on its own brands, which make up a small fraction of the business. The company's gross profits declined by 68% in 2024. I also wanted to look at this distilled spirits American whiskey. So they've had... What was their point? A sales slowdown has only shown up? Okay, so they're arguing that it's not had the same year-over-year, like, expansion. And really only between 23 and 24 has there been any kind of dip. But between 2003 and 2024, there's been a 125.9% increase in 9-liter case sales, which leads to a 293% increase in gross revenue, excuse me. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway. Bardstown Bourbon's the model here, selling to Pritzker for capital investment for a non-spirits company that has no interest in dictating the direction. Yeah, exactly. Like, if you find somebody who is more interested in making happen what you have as a good vision, as opposed to wanting to play you as a puppet, because they think they have a better idea of what it means to be a whiskey company, or an alcohol, distilled spirits, whatever, company. Those two things are completely different. Okay, I think people are getting bored, so I'm going to try to speed through this. I apologize. Barrel Hub is a brokerage site that connects barrel sellers and buyers, whose parent company, Advanced Spirits, started in 2022, when the prices for 4-year-old Kentucky bourbon averaged around $4,000 a barrel, according to President Rob Arnold. Now he says it's really transitioned to where there's a lot of really well-made whiskey available in the 6 to 8 year range, and prices have corrected to a healthy level. You can now find 8-year Kentucky bourbon in the $2,200 to $2,500 range. 4-year-old bourbon, meanwhile, can be found for as little as $1,200 a barrel. That's crazy. That's crazy. So what I think the argument is really being made for here is that this is hurting. Here we go. It's hurting investors more than anything. It's hurting people who have like a $1 investment in the industry, as opposed to whether it's a good thing for the consumer, for those of us who actually have a vested interest, and really an investment at all in what it means to be a bourbon consumer, a bourbon drinker. So, all that being said, I think it's crazy to say that we're not having this conversation, that people are not wanting to talk about it. And let me drop this in the chat too for anybody who wants to read it further. And we're gonna move on because that article is insanely long. And I'll But anyway. I think Campari is now using Wilderness Trail as a shadow distillery at this point. Very 1792. Wilderness Trail was never something I pulled the trigger on. The bottles look cool, though. I recommend it. I love Wilderness Trail. I think they make really good stuff. Broker Bros no longer want MGP barrels. I can get my barrel of 4-year-old Blantons I won on the lottery today for only $1,200. You won a barrel of Blantons today? Because I won nothing. I won nothing in the Sazerac drawing. Only a couple of different TTB labels before we get to our flight tonight. The first one being the new Angels Envy 10 cast strength Kentucky straight bourbon, finished in port wine barrels, and that's all we have. We have no other information. That's it. Looks like it's going to be pretty. I was waiting for your streak. Dude, you actually won a barrel of Blantons? Are you kidding me? Tony, congratulations. Holy moly. That's friggin' awesome, dude. Very exciting. Cannot wait to see what you do with that, man. It's going to be very, very exciting. Oh, you didn't win? What's happening? Why are my emotions being toyed with? Tony, what the heck, man? Old Forester's been my go-to distillery recently. 1920 is great and something I underappreciated for too long. Sarcasm does not translate in the chat. It absolutely does not. I got all excited. Well, if there are any watchers who did win a barrel, congratulations. Doesn't have to be Blanton's, but I do wish you a sincere congratulations. Oh, was it when you said 4-year-old Blanton's? Now I'm catching it. I'm smart. Anyway, the last label is the triple rum cask finish from Barrel Bourbon that's 20 years old. Yeah, 106.9 proof. I get the feeling this is going to be another one of those, like, have to teach y'all tone indicators. Now, come on. Hey. I've got a lot going on. I'm managing many things. Also, the fact that Angel's Envy can't even make the label say aged 10 years anywhere. Dude, I hate that. I don't even know what this... Like, aside from the fact that it's supposed to be a port wine finished cast strength bourbon, bros just made it say Angel's Envy 10 like it's benchmark. It's just, like... They don't actually say that it's 10 years. This person said they don't actually say that it's 10 years on the label. It just 10 and that it is age stated. Absolutely. Anyway, I get the feeling this barrel release is going to be, oh man, it's all Tennessee. It's going to be one of those distillery and online only releases. But curious about it. For sure. For sure. There we go. All right. Let's see here. The question is, because I know that there's going to be one in this lineup. The problem with modern bourbon, port wine finished cast strength bourbon is too long of a name to explain to new drinkers. Oh, for sure. I love beam streams. Dude, me too. Here's the problem with this flight. One of these Knob Creeks is going to stick out like a sore thumb because it's not as high a proof as the other ones. So do I do this blind, or do I just drink all these through knowing which is in what glass? I got to know. Y'all got to help me out here. Also, do I want to use this bottle? I don't think I want to use this particular bottle. It'd just be a... The strays being caught tonight. Yeah, I'm just going to drink them. I'm going to swap out my 9-year 100 proof. Give me just a second. Apologies for standing up. Oh. We're going to have to do like a Patreon only stream or something. Or just a Discord hangout where we talk more. The reason I had that older Knob Creek, you all know about my buddy Billy, of course. I've talked about him many times. I had another music friend yesterday get news that he was going to be receiving heart surgery today. And he's been in the hospital for a while with heart issues. And I say a while, it's been like a week. And he had to have a valve replaced today. It's like a 4-hour surgery. And I hadn't had a chance to talk to him. His name's Daniel. And so last night, before I went to bed, I had a pour of Knob Creek 9-year small batch, the 100 proof. And I called Daniel and FaceTimed him and said, I love you and hope everything goes well. And as far as I know, everything went well. But, man, was not happy thinking about losing more of my music people to heart issues. And I was immediately drawn to the pour that Billy and I bonded over, and Daniel and I drink bourbon together too, of course. pour that last night. Am I the only one who would be disappointed if Wild Turkey 101 8-year tastes like pre-bottle changed Wild Turkey 101? Oh, my friend. Oh, my friend, let me tell you a thing. Let me tell you a very, very important thing about Wild Turkey 101 8-year. In the way that it tastes compared to the pre-bottle change. It doesn't taste like that. Doesn't. It tastes better. Listen to the podcast. What would be funny about that? I, for one, would be terribly disappointed. Okay, so I'm just over here pouring and talking and getting a little sappy and not even thinking about what I should be telling you about what I'm doing. First thing that I'm doing is pouring up these Knob Creeks. This guy here, which I need to finish off soon, is a Knob Creek 9-year 100 proof small batch. Secondly, it's a Liquor Barn pick that is 10, almost 11 years old. Liquor Barn pick, Knob Creek single barrel. Hey, Don Nishida! In Korea? I cannot say that because I don't know how to, and I don't want... Annyeong? I can say annyeong. Annyeong haseyo. Did I say it right? I don't know. I know annyeong because of Arrested Development. Annyeong haseyo. I probably am not saying it right. Oh, I didn't notice that comment, Tony. How funny would it be if Tony did win and his drunk buddy took a leak in the barrel? I did get it? Dang! Rare pronunciation W. My third glass is my Knob Creek Infinity bottle, which I've so gracefully written onto this label. And then my fourth glass is not all of, but a bit of what remains of one of my favorite bourbons of all time. That someday I hope to find another bottle of. The Knob Creek 12-year cast strength at 120.5 proof. I wish that I had the wherewithal back when this first came out to save more. Because... Holy moly. Holy moly, chat. I did not buy enough when it was out. Yeah, only reason I really know annyeong is because of Arrested Development. And one of my unicorns, I never did get one of them. I got so many. I don't feel like pulling the clip up. But anyway, they adopt a Korean boy, and they think that his name is Annyeong because that's all he can say, and it just means hello in Korean. It's very funny. It's very funny. I'm so due for a rewatch of Arrested Development. It's ridiculous. But starting out with the Knob Creek 100 proof 9-year small batch. I think what I need to do what I truly need to do is a blind flight soon of all the bottles that I say, this is one of my go-tos. This could be one of my desert island bourbons. That are like some of the more, affordable ones, like Turkey 101, like Knob Creek 100 proof. All that stuff. All that jazz. Tell Eric there is a bottle I never managed to acquire. Speaking of co-hosts, please tell me you and Eric are staying together. Yes. Eric and I are staying together. And I'm not gonna comment on what Tony is talking about because I'll say a little bit here. I'll say a little bit here. I'm going to say a little bit more on the podcast on next week's episode. It's been, I don't mean to make the It's Bourbon Night shakeup about me, because it is very much not about me at all. That being said, though, Chad and Sarah are still two of my very dear friends. I love them both dearly. And it was not easy receiving any of the news that you all received this week. So, I have known them for a very long time. I knew them pre-Timbip. I knew them pre most of you all knowing them via It's Bourbon Night. And I was a fan, of course, of It's Bourbon Night before they got to this level of success. Not to say I knew them before, because that's not what this is about. This is my own personal feelings about how things are as they stand. I don't know the best way to put this, because this has also been a very emotional week for me, seeing that this is now public for everybody. But there is no sides being taken. There is no somebody was in the right and somebody was in the wrong, because that's not how this kind of thing goes at all. Again, I love them both, and I'm very excited for what is in the future for everyone involved. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say right now. But do know that there's like an immense amount of sadness that I have for what was being over. And I hope I'm allowed to feel that or say that in one capacity or another. Yeah. But anyway, that's all. I'm pumped for Mega Chad, but super bummed as well. Yeah. I think we all support them both, and we're so sad but excited as well. Yeah. So, with that, we're moving on. And also, I'll say this. Please respect the both of them. I don't think this has to be said. And I don't think that I need to be the one to say it either, but I will. Please respect their space and their privacy, and don't go looking for answers or asking questions, because If it were me, I would be insanely annoyed. And honestly, I would not answer any of your questions. And two, they're private people. Let them be private. You know, it's none of anybody's business. You know, it sucks having anything like this happen publicly. It's tough for everyone. It is. But if it's tough that it happened to them publicly, imagine, you know, for anybody who has that kind of thought, think about what it must be like for them privately as well. You're always entitled to your own feelings. That's not commentary. Oh, I mean, of course. And I will not be providing any commentary either, because that's not like, I'm not like, that's not anything that I care to do. Like, the most I will say is I'm excited for what It's Bourbon Night is going to look like as a channel moving forward, because I love both Chad and Chad. Like, that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. As someone who talks to them both frequently, I message them both and they can choose what to do with that. Yeah. So, anyway, I'm moving on. I will likely say something similar on the podcast next week. I will likely be a little bit more emotional. It's Chad Night, the chatting, on the podcast as well. As I talk about things that involve It's Bourbon Night in the podcast. So, moving on. I'm moving on. I'm not talking about this anymore. That's it. Chad and Jade, original recipe and extra crispy. Yes. Dude, regular Knob Creek 100 proof is so daggum good. I need to just drink more of it in general. Why do I not have this on hand more often? Ridiculous that I don't. Knob Creek is the... I mean, I'm always getting Knob Creek single barrel, of course. Daphne's what's going on, my friend. So very good to see you. I hope things are going exceptionally well for you. And if they're not, I hope that they get better. But, like, I'm always buying single barrels. I never buy the small batch. I've got so little of the small batch right now. I need more of the small batch. It's my Knob Creek Single Barrel Select podcast. I mean, basically. Everybody knows. All right, let's check out this single barrel. Golly, that color. That color is not dissimilar from what I'm seeing. Like, what you see on screen is not dissimilar from what I'm seeing in person. Oof. Jake, just watch the video now that it was mentioned, and it makes me glad I never had to make a public video like that, and my engagement fell apart in private. Just sucks. First of all, I'm sorry that happened to you at all. But yeah. You understand what I'm saying. Trust Whiskey Mountains, buy more KC. I've been preaching the gospel forever. Hot. Oh. Oh, my lantern. I done died and gone to heaven. Whenever I see a sale, I buy KC 100 to make sure it's on hand. I don't have a KC Infinity bottle going yet. I have a Wild Turkey Infinity and the Fantail bottle, though. Oh, that's a great idea. I don't know where my Wild Turkey Infinity bottle is right now. It's around here summers. Somewheres. Yo, Joanne Street just started following the show out of nowhere. I mean, I did tag her, like, into my story yesterday about the about this week's episode, but I like didn't realize she wasn't following the podcast. I don't even know if Bruce is following the podcast. I don't think he is. No, he's not. Old Commonwealth's got a new release coming out soon. Why does this look like Lot 40? The new Old Commonwealth just looks like a Lot 40 release. Right? Am I crazy? Does anybody in the comments have any? Really hoping it's DH Cromwell 15 year. Oh, okay. I wonder what that is. Bizarre. Anyway, sorry. All right, let's try, now that I've had this really freaking good Knob Creek single barrel, I'm going to try my Infinity bottle. If nothing else, start an Infinity bottle of different things that you have around. Picks, just Weeders, high rise that you love, anything. I'm such an advocate for Infinity bottles. I think they're so much fun. I think they're just something that you can keep coming back to and making different little changes to. My favorite one, honestly, one of my favorite Infinity bottles is my Knob Creek Infinity bottle. It's literally just Knob Creek single barrel picks. As young as 9 years old, and I think, honestly, I've got something in there that's like 15 or 16 years old, too. Like, it's crazy, everything that's been in there. And it started, like, I mean, probably 3 or 4 years ago, maybe longer. Papa Ritter arise. Where is he? He might be late. I don't know. But nothing ever below the single barrel 120 proof, you know. Okay, it's a little hot. It's a little cinnamony. It's a little spicy. A little bit of alcohol burn on there. It's not bad. I still need to work with it a little bit, though. Oh, you know what I just remembered, too? Tony Bag of Donuts brought up something very important that I had forgotten about. That I need to let you all know about, too. Tony, you texted me about this last night. For those of you who don't know, I needed, golly, this banner. I didn't make this banner. A friend of mine made this banner for me. For those of you who don't know, I also play a little bit of music. I've got some music on a website. You can also find it on all streaming platforms as well. But every single thing that I have ever released, backing all the way up to when I was 14. Yes, I am still vulnerably putting music up on the internet from when I was the age of 14. When I had a silly little album called First Cut. Is on the website perryritter.bandcamp.com. And no, I don't want to do that. I'm so brave. Thank you, my friend. And Bandcamp started during COVID doing a thing called Bandcamp Fridays, where they introduced the opportunity for Bandcamp artists to make more money from sales of their music. I try to hide my early riffs. That's funny. They make more money off of music that is sold directly on Bandcamp. And Tony brought up that he got an email about Bandcamp Fridays. Tomorrow, May 2nd, is in fact... Happy May Day, everybody, by the way. Forgot to say that. Tomorrow, May 2nd, is this month's Bandcamp Friday. So, if you want to check out some of my music, you want to go listen to some of my extremely dumb early music from when I was a very earnest teenager, all the way up until my most recent release, which came out last year, was a song called Cruel. You can go and buy some of my songs. You can also stream it, check it out. And you get, I am able to get some more money from Bandcamp Friday. So perryritter.bandcamp.com. I also put the link in the chats, both on Twitch and on YouTube. Please go and check that out. I would really appreciate it. You can check out also the album that I put out with some of my very good friends in 2014. 2014? Is that when we did it? Yeah. Mine Heart. This album I am super, super proud of. It's a 10-song album, 10-track album. I wrote everything that's on there. Still just incredibly, incredibly proud of this. I would have done some things differently, including the album artwork. But overall, this is everything that I have everything that I have put out on the internet musically is as far as like my own stuff. Mine heart. No, dude, it's all good. But it's all here. perryritter.bandcamp.com. Tomorrow is Bandcamp Friday. Please, if you feel so inclined, support my music. And if not, don't worry about it, because you do a lot already. And also, if you want to support the show that I do, that is bourbon-centric, of course, patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast for as little as $1 a month, for as little as $5 a month. There's bonus content over there every single daggum week. It's like doing music, except it's not. It's not like doing music at all. It's just yapping for a long time. But you do get a lot of bonus content that Eric and I make. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We got a couple of new Patreon subscribers. We shout you out when you sign up. I know exactly where my copy of Mine Heart is. That's hilarious. I think I still have some physical copies too. Maybe if there's like, I could probably still print physical copies. Honestly. Improv jazz. Oh, yeah, dude. Hold on, I'm going to... and then I'm going to... Back to YouTube. And I'm going to pin that there. And now we're done. Anyway. Yes. Yeah, but patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. New content every single week. Bonus episodes on Monday. Pre-game chats on Tuesday. And early access to the podcast on Tuesday as well. So go check it out, please. We appreciate it. Links for everything in the description below if you're on YouTube. watching the live stream. And hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And follow on Twitch, on the road to affiliate. We'll get there eventually. We'll get there, I'm sure. How will I play it is the question. Oh, wait, Xbox will play a CD. Will it really? I didn't know that. I've got a CD player in my car. I need to... My CD player from when I... Like, my stereo system from when I was growing up, like what I had at my parents' house, just crapped the bed after a while. Hey, Papa Ritter! Happy Derby weekend, indeed. Tomorrow's Oaks Day. Finally here. It's good to see you. All right, I'm about to have a drink. It worked. It did work, Tony. Of one of my favorite bourbons of all time, the Knob Creek Cast Strength 12-year-old. That, my goodness gracious, I've missed so dearly. No, Uncle Ed, it's the Easter Bunny. Oh. Sure, rub it in. You have a car, you can drive. Hey, man. Some of us have two functional eyes. Sorry. Why is this all I have left of this? This is all I have left of one of my favorite bourbons ever. Crushes, I mean, it just absolutely crushes everything else that's here. We've got to get loud enough to make Knob Creek drop more 12-year cast strength. I don't know if they ever will. I hope they do. I mean, genuinely, I don't understand why it couldn't be a recurring release. Even a 10-year cast strength release would be insane. That's what I miss more than anything. Driving was always my life and job. Dude, I totally get that. I mean, if it was like your thing, I mean, and it's not to say that I don't love to drive. We got to get loud enough to make them drop cast strength picks. I think they are supposed to be doing cast strength picks. Here's the thing. If they do cast strength picks, we could all just make our own, like, cast strength 12 years. You know what I mean? Or cast strength small batches. Oh, we got loud enough. Sorry. I misread it. You said something there. I may or may not be trying to cast strength Knob Creek on my stream tonight. Clifton! First of all, hello. Good to see you. I wish I could, like you can do on Twitch, I wish I could raid people on YouTube. Wait, what? Hey, yo! Travelers exclusive? What? $122.8 proof? That's crazy. I need this. 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 I need it. I need it. Hello. I need it. I need it. I need it. Please, I need it. I need it. I need it. I need it. Please. Please. Pretty please, please. I gotta find some place that sells it. Bean Boy needs more beam. Bean Boy? Bean Boy needs more beam. I'm in my beam era right now, okay? I think he wants it. Oh, what do you mean? I've been looking at this for 3 hours. It's beautiful. What's the Tom quote from Where have you been? I've been in this era for years. I have two. It's just like currently I have two, but currently like anything beam is just what I crave. Dude, this 10-year single barrel, though, is a strong competitor against the cast strength. You really are beaming, radiating. Yeah, when is Dawn going? I've got some hazmat beam in my glass. That's from my child. Do you see this? You see this bruise on my arm? My child did that to me. Not the big one. Not the big one. The little one, the 7-month-old, did that to me. Because when she falls asleep, yes, it's the Ella pinch. When she falls asleep, she's in this phase right now. And Dad knows about this because I was telling him and Mom about it the other day. She'll lay on you, and as she's falling asleep, she's trying to like soothe herself, and she'll reach up and she'll pinch you real hard. And it'll like jolt you because you're not expecting it. And like as you jump, it wakes her up and she starts screaming. You're like, stop screaming. I want you to go to sleep. And then it just keeps repeating until she finally falls asleep. I had not seen this until right this second. I was a victim of the Mason pinch, but we won't talk about that. Beep. We will not. Do I have one on this arm? If I had one on the other arm, I thought maybe it had been from, like, the gym. There's a mythical lot of beam barrels that have started entering the market under labels we've all seen. Augusta is one of those labels. So that's the hazmat beam. I need hazmat beam. I just need beam. I want beam. I love beam. Nope, not gonna say that. I want to go back to the 100 proof to see if it holds up. It does to a degree. Not all the way. But I mean, it is at least 20 proof points lower than everything else. Has anyone seen a hazmat from a Beam label? I mean, I'd never have. Wait, what? Okay, I mean, this is not... this doesn't really count. But this is a... Here. This is a sample from a Knob Creek single barrel pick where the sample came out at 140.6 proof. Sampled all the way back in 2020. Dang. Dude, if this was... Hold on. How old was this? Oh! 11 years, 3 months. And 140.6 proof. Sample in a jar. Oh my goodness. I wish this had been me. I want to go to there. I want to be that person. I grabbed my 8-year Augusta store pick, but alas, it's only 121.4 proof. Did I finish this? Yeah, I've got a Liquor Barn. Was this a pick? This was at Liquor Barn, but it was an Old Route 8 that was 130.4 proof. I need to get another one. I've seen picks that high, reach that high at tastings, but they proofed them down. Hence why people were begging for it. Then they just proceed to offer 118 proof samples at subsequent picks. That's obnoxious. You know what I could do? So I was gonna say, or I was talking about how I wanted to do like a raid. Oh, he's not even live yet. I wanted to do like a raid, but I'll drop the link for Dr. Kush in the chat. Because he's a friend of the show, and I want you guys to check out some of what he does, and let him know, of course, that Tim Bip sent you, because I want to do some more stuff with him. But he's doing a Derby mint julep tonight for his stream. We should do this more. Kush is awesome, man. One of my favorite non whiskey tube streamers who makes awesome cocktails. But he's supposed to be going live here in a few minutes. And I'll try to be in the chat as well for a bit. But I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and let's hop over there. And we are going to go start wrapping up on tonight's stream. Folks, I tell you what, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. It has been a heck of a week. Oh boy. Worn the heck out. But I love you. We'll see you real soon. Have a good derby. Good. Enjoy some good drinks. And I love you. Until next week, I'm Perry. This is 10 Bit Live.